Hello and welcome to live coverage of the 2022 European Youth Archery Championships here at the home of Archery GB. The National Sports Centre in Lilleshall is a beautiful backdrop for our final session from these fantastic championships. As you can see, it's a little grey oversized, but it's 22 degrees, rather pleasant here. The weather has played a very important part over this whole tournament. Currently the windsock looking a little flaccid, but that has been blowing around in different directions throughout the competition. Our focus for this final session will be on the recurve individual disciplines and the conclusion of them. Here we have the lineup. We go through the under-18 medals first before switching to the under-21 medals, and we've got both bronze and gold in each discipline. Well, the astute amongst you would have noticed that we are going to start with the recurve under-18 women's competition. The bronze medal first. Losing semi-finalists have to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, because there's a medal up for grabs, and it will be Özdemir of Tequila going up against Torrecilla of Spain, followed by that all-French final coming up straight afterwards. Beautiful gardens here at Lilleshall, and there's Fletch, the mascot for this competition. Fletch has been a very popular character around the field of play. I met him at lunch. He seems like he's enjoying the fact the sun is hidden away. It's been a little warm for our lion. And as you can see, the teams are in good spirits here. Spain there, getting ready for their contender. Bronze medal match in the recurve under-18 women's competition coming right up. We'll go down to the field of play for the athlete introduction.
Representing Turkish, on target number 2, representing Spain, and the lineup for the match is
So here we go, the first medal match of this final session here at the European Youth Archery Championships. We will see Silla Özdemir of Turkey taking on the fabulously named Iria de la Fuente Torrecilla. I think we're going to call her Torrecilla here in the commentary box. I'm Karim Bashir, and it's my great pleasure. Super Saturday here in the commentary box. Had Ella Gibson this morning, and now we've got the head coach from Israel, Richard Priestman, in the box. Richard, pleasure to have you here. Are you looking forward to this afternoon?
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Yes, fantastic. Really happy to be here. Had a good week with my team here, and we're not in these recurve finals this afternoon, but really excited to see how they all plan out.
We're about to get straight underway. Bronze medal up for grabs here in the compound under-18 women's division, and it will be the athlete from Turkey starting things off with a 9. Richard, in these early stages, first off, tell us how the scoring works.
Well, you can see the target faces. It's gold, red, blue, black and white. Each ring split into 2, so it's 10 for the inner gold, 9 for the outer gold. That's the rings they want to be in. We don't want to stray too much in the 8 and the 7s as we go out across the target. What's interesting at the beginning here is the first arrow, the practice range is across the other side of the sight in a different direction. So to try and guess the wind right on this first arrow is quite a challenge, and I think so they've all gone left, which I think the compounds did this morning as well, so the teams are not learning.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? As I was saying to Ella Gibson, Britain's #1 archer, finishing off with a 9 there to take the set points for Torrecilla of Spain. If you get the better arrows in a set, you get the 2 points, and of course the target score for the win is 6. Yeah, but I was saying to Ella this morning, and you said it straight away. Thanks for doing it right at the top of the show. Everything going left,
Yes.
the wind's coming across the range. Surely, if you're the second archer in this first match, you're going to see what
They
the
need
first
to
archer
learn,
does.
but it's very hard. You see what's going on. It's hard to have that clarity of thought to actually respond. And archers are probably cautious with the sight changes. You know, the sights have a click mechanism, and you're trying to do too many clicks. So, but at this level, you have to take that risk of winning, don't you?
Absolutely, and I asked you this off air, but I'm going to ask you live on air because you came up with a very interesting answer. Obviously, this is an important competition. It's the European Championships for under-18s and under-21s. Is it, though, the breeding ground for, are we going to see the future stars? Are we seeing the LA potential archers right here?
Yes, for sure. I think we've got this lovely breeding ground for the under-18s and the under-21s. They can come here, they can learn to be competitors, they can make the mistakes, they can win. But already some here are already in Olympic teams or senior national teams. Some aspire to be there in the future, but you probably find a third to half, I'm pretty sure, will make it into their national teams.
There you go, and that's a man who knows what he's talking about. Former head of the British programme, now looking after the Israeli archers. Second set here, Ozdemir trailing, going left.
Still going left. You see, I prefer to be aiming off in these situations. I think a lot of archers tend to be cautious and they're just going click, 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 but it doesn't move the sight very much. But aiming off, you can actually control a bigger distance more accurately. But it's having the confidence to do that. Now, these are good shots, but not in the right place, so they're not getting full value for the good feelings they've got.
Well, good grouping there. That's a good sign, isn't it? That if you've got 2 hours close together, you just need to shift things.
Yeah, it's about grouping. You know, we're trying to shoot 3 good arrows in a group, and then your sight is to center the group. The sight's not there to alter individual arrows. It's to move your group, basically. Archers tend to forget that.
Well, just drifting over to the left for a 7, but you know what? That's enough. And Tequila has gone 4-0 up, of course, subject to confirmation from the target judge. If you're a budding young archer, trust me, you want to listen to Richard Priestman. He knows what he's talking about. How many countries have you coached in now?
This is my 12th different country I've coached.
You're not old enough, are you?
Yes, unfortunately I am. Yeah, which is fantastic because I've been in every kind of culture, every kind of temperature.
Well, right here we're seeing what you were talking about, Richard. The Turkish archer Ozdemir. We'll get a good view of a full draw, but those arrows going off to the left, and
yes,
look at
yes,
all those
and
holes.
it's almost criminal, isn't it? That they all that good effort, it's a good shot, and you just haven't guessed the wind right. Because it is a guess almost. It's an experience is a big part of that. As they get more experience as an archer, they'll start to understand what the wind does to their arrows. It not only makes them go up and down, but left and right.
And strange for a Turkish archer to not be used to the wind. You were telling me about their famous Istanbul Archery Centre, which is particularly windy.
Yes, well, they tend to train, well, Turkey is interesting. They have many great programs right across the country. They have, I don't know, 50 or 60 professional coaches in Turkey now. All their groups of archers spread right across the country, and they can shoot outdoors a lot of the winter anyway.
We start the third set here, and Ozdemir, well, getting closer into the gold there for just her third 9, and she's going to need all that coaching talent behind her here to come from 4 down.
Yes, so Damla, the coach in the back, she's an Olympic coach, ex-athlete herself, vast experience. Her husband runs the Turkey program.
Something
arrow by arrow, she's creeping over, isn't she?
I was just saying, take the words out of my mouth. She's getting closer and closer.
They're both settling down now, aren't they? You notice there's a time limit for these arrows as well. They only get 20 seconds for each arrow, which when it's windy, that becomes more of a stretch. You know, it puts more pressure on the archer because they're aiming longer. They haven't done it decisions.
Needed a 10 to level up on points, got a 9, so that is Ozdemir on the scoreboard. She takes the third set, but still trails by 4 set points to 2. Richard, while we've got you here, I mean, it's all well and good to talk about the wind, which is a factor here today, but I wanted to hear about what you think about the form of these archers. I mean, we start with the Spanish archer who's gone 4-0 up.
Well, technically, it's a very nice technique. I know the Spanish programs very well. They have great coaches, and they have they do want to teach the best possible technique. This technique and process first.
Well, they're just having a look at, sorry to interrupt there, they're just having a look at that measure on that first arrow, because obviously that could change things completely. Did you get a feel for whether that could get marked up?
Yes, of course, if it's marked up, yeah, it's hard to tell from this distance, but the coach will get his magnifying glass out to see as close as he can. That looks like it's in to me.
If it just cuts the line.
Yeah. So a judge will look from both sides probably, and they make a considered judgment.
Yeah, I've seen the magnifying glass come out for some of those measures.
Well, that's the suspense while they're waiting to hear.
Looks like it has stayed an 8. It shows you what the TV cameras can do. They can trick you into thinking it's in, but the 8 remains an 8, and that does mean I can't quite see the scoreboard on the field of play, but because of the sun has come out, but we think it's 4-2 for Torrecilla against Ozdemir.
It's one of the interesting things from a performance and technique-wise. When countries are talent hunting, they are looking for the bigger, stronger girls these days, because they can usually command and shoot heavier draw weight bows as well. So as a it's a dream to try and find somebody who's talented and a bigger stature. It really gives more stability. It's stronger. They can have more of the heavier the bow, the more efficient it is.
And you talk about draw weight. What exactly? If you're talking to a non-archer, what do you mean by that?
So that's the amount of weight they're holding at full draw. That's not the weight of the bow; it's the pull of the bow. So I don't know what these girls are pulling, but they will be probably 35, 36, maybe just over 40 pounds, which it's a considerable weight when you think about it. And that's really hard to balance and coordinate and aim and move as part of your technique.
Very interesting stuff, but here we are on the brink of our first medal. De La Fuente Torrecilla of Spain needs a 7 for the win, and she's got it just inside the 8, and that is a tremendous performance. She couldn't quite do it in 3 sets, but she's done it in 4 and has taken the bronze against a young, promising athlete from Turkey, Ozdemir, but it's Torrecilla that is going to be on the podium. Well, we can see, I think, Richard, that the Spaniards are pretty happy about that.
They are. I mean, what's great is the camaraderie amongst all the teams, but they're jousting each other with the chants in between arrows, and it's lovely that they're all enjoying it so much.
Yeah, there is a lovely atmosphere here. I mean, you've been on the circuit, the Honda Archery World Cup circuit. It's very, very serious. There's a lot of respect, of course, between the athletes, but this has got a bit of a sort of celebratory feeling about it, doesn't it?
It's lovely. I mean, you see much more of this at the cadet, with the under 21, the under 18 level. They're here to have fun as well as the seriousness of the performance. But you can see it. They're having a great time. But very impressed with the Spanish girl. She's a lovely, fluid, easy shot. Didn't seem any pressure there at all, did there?
No, it was fantastic performance from her. And Iria De La Fuente Torrecilla I should say, is going to be on the podium. We take a little look back over this. Richard, talk us through this beautiful form of both athletes.
Well, again, she has a very Turkish they teach a very stylized technique now. We've seen from Mete Gazos at the Olympics. It's all sort of pseudo Mete kind of technique, which the Turkey coach has developed. And it's very effective, very smooth, very quick. They work with a lot of fast repetition shooting, as much as 600 hours a day in training, which is a really tough regime they go through, but it gets them into finals.
certainly does, and of course Mete Gazos is the Olympic champion. Had a bit of a struggle this year though, the Turkish athlete, not doing quite as well as that. Is that a little bit of a hangover from winning?
I think he had a really well-deserved rest, and he did a lot of celebrity kind of stuff because he really is a celebrity in Turkey. They really love him. I'm sure he'll be on form next year, I've no doubts.
Yeah, he's one of those athletes that could be around for a long time. And if you're wondering who we're talking about, he's the Olympic champion. He has a trademark celebration as well when he wins his gold, with his little hand gesture.
Yes, and you noticed all the Turkish team that they wear the same hat with in the same style, with the back turned up. They all try to be Mete clones, I think, and why not? Because he's awesome.
Time now for gold here, and we turn our attention to a country that's hosting the next Olympic Games. It's an all-French gold medal match for the Recurve under-18 women here at the European Championships.
On target number 2, representing France, Mila, Delastan. And your line judge is Onside.
So an all-French affair. Amélie Kudo against Mila Delastan. Have you seen these two archers shooting over the week?
Yes, I have. Again, France have a very impressive academy system. They have regional academies, really good coaching, and they have a large group of cadets and under 18s, under 21s that are coming through. These two girls actually were in I think they're in the final in Romania at the European Youth Cup Bucharest a couple of weeks ago. I think Kudo won that one, but yeah, both obviously even at this age they're both pretty experienced now.
Well, this all-French gold medal match is about to get underway, and it will be Kudo to shoot the first arrow. And guess what?
Again,
a little left.
Low left. It just shows the mindset, how passive or aggressive they are. You know, as coach in archery, we all talk about it before, like where's it likely to go, that first arrow, and we get it wrong every time. I think we outguess ourselves.
Very controlled draw, isn't it?
Yes, very smooth. A lovely flow to follow through. One of the things I teach with my archers is the follow through. It needs to be. It has to be a full flow. We need to do that follow through right to the end. It's not just making the arrow click and then just let go. Like every sport has its follow through. And that was a weak arrow.
Yeah, she had a chance to level up, but she needed a 10 at Delastan, and she only got a 5. So the first 2 set points go to Kudo. She leads this one, but that form, that style, can you take a country? Are you coaching here in Great Britain? Is there a Priestman style of shooting
yes,
that you can
of
recognise?
course there is. You need to recognise the coach by the style that comes out in the archers. With mine, there's a definite string hand shape. And a definite follow through, and a definite bow arm delivery into the 10. And it's just trying to, my kind of influence is just trying to maximise what they get from the setup and the expansion. I don't want to, some archers you'll see a great draw, graded full draw, they make it click and it looks powerful, and then they have a variable follow through, so then the arrow doesn't go quite where it should do. And often in competition at high level, what breaks down is the follow through. The archers don't complete their full process, and then little errors occur. So I try to exaggerate that part just to maximise, because under pressure you can't think quite as clearly. You don't always set it up as good. You don't always make the right decision to aim. But if you finish it good, you can maximise what you've got, get a better score.
There you go. Pearls of wisdom from Richard Priestman. We go into this gold medal match second set with Kudo leading by 2 set points to 0, so it will be Delastan to shoot first.
8.
But she's not got centred yet, has she? Sometimes it takes 1 or 2 sets just to get centred, then the confidence comes, and then you can
9.
start to shoot a lot better, or score better.
Well, she hasn't got a huge amount of time here because it looks like Kudo is in that centre.
Yes, and you've only got, if you don't get it right by the 3rd set, then you're struggling.
6.
Still drifting off to the left and only on 14 here. Kudo will seek the opportunity or see it, and she has taken it. That's a nerve calming 10 for Kudo.
8.
And one of the problems here is obviously you've got this variable wind. You know, we've got probably one of those beautiful venues you've ever seen, but again, there's this strong wind that's coming from the west, and it's coming through the trees or up and over the trees, and it's causing all kinds of turbulence, and you're feeling the wind all around you. Even though the wind's coming head on from the right, you feel it coming from behind you, and it's so confusing to your brain and it puts that indecision there.
But like I always say, it's the same for all the occasional gust can affect one particular arrow, but the conditions are the same for all these archers. Kudo's stepped into this gold medal match, and she's handling the circumstances much better than her opponent.
Yes, yeah, you can see that. I mean, she did win the gold medal in Bucharest, so maybe she's got a lot of confidence against her opponents. Maybe I don't know if they're training partners, and probably are, but I'm sure they probably shoot against each other every day.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you know that you beat your opponent, as we saw back in those replays, at 4-0 up, Kudo could do this in 3 sets. Is that the dream? Is that what every archer is thinking about?
Yeah, of course it is. You want to get it over and done with. Even if you're clearly the better archer, if you don't close the match out, then you're putting pressure on yourself. Not everybody agrees with me. I always talk about this 3rd set syndrome. It's the kind of set that I would really like to win. If you're 4-0 up, well, you want to win the 3rd. If you're 4-0 down, you want to win the 3rd. Or if you're level, well, why not? To me, of course, every set's important, but the 3rd one is if you don't win the 3rd, you're either won the match or you let the opponent back in. So,
well, here it is, the all-important 3rd set. Delastan trailing 4-0. It has to win this one to keep herself in the gold medal match, and that is the middle of the target.
yeah, beautiful shot, wasn't it?
9.
They both look very cool out there. I see Sean is looking a lot more tense at this in competitions.
8.
I like the way they look like they keep their eyes focused on the centre. The heads are not moving. They're very deliberate in the follow through. Wind strong on that one.
Oh,
so she's 6 seconds. Now she's in trouble. 4, 3, 2, 1.
She
Wow.
managed to get a 5 out of it. But
that's better than nothing, isn't it?
what was the redraw for? She did.
I could see the wind was really strong and it was pushing her, and
7.
yeah.
Well, a 25 has been set by Delastan, and she has put this one out of reach. So she has got herself back into this match, getting on the scoreboard with that 2 points. But here she's going through this Kudo. So
She can shadowing there. She was losing. Looks like she was losing off her back. The string side elbow is collapsing. So then you can't get through the clicker if your body's collapsing. And I think the wind was pushing her. When you're more relaxed, she'd have felt that and probably aborted the shot and come down and then had time to reset and then go again. But she left herself no time, did she?
Well, we're going to see it right here, Richard. Talk us through what happened. Everything looks okay
so
at this point.
See the wind, the flags are moving heavily, and
yeah.
she's gone over time, and then she just lost the power, lost the movement, and she just took too long to take the decision to come down. So at that point, you've either got to punch it through really fast and shoot, or you make a quick decision, come down and start again. But there's no time. It's really hard to think clearly.
Yeah, it certainly is, and it did give Delastan an opportunity to get back into the match. She took it. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this as well. We get set up for set number 4. I boil archery down to 2 things. You get an opportunity, and it's whether you have the bottle, I'm going to call it, to take it.
Yeah, I'm from Liverpool. Yeah, you got to have bottle, haven't you? No, this is about taking the risk of winning. It's archery's an attacking sport. We're trying to hit the middle. We're trying to kill the center of the target. So it's all about movement and strong finish and attack, and take that risk. If you go into a defensive mode in archery, especially when it's windy, the wind will kick you, and you'll make mistakes. So that seems to unsettled her now, doesn't it? She was shooting so nice, and then one unfortunate mistake, and that, she perhaps not reset.
Well,
and then of course, when you've made a mistake, you dream of a present from the other archer, which she gave her there, didn't she?
She certainly did.
Sometimes there's a bit of luck as well. Sometimes.
Yeah, but you do make your own luck in sport. Kudo will want to get back into this, but
so now from what seemed like a disaster, now.
Oh, she's pinged that in for the 9, and it is, as you say, the win for Amélie Kudo. She had a wobble in the 3rd set, but she pulled it all back together. Shot a 6 in the 4th to get things going, but when Delastan put down a 4, Kudo knew that she could take this gold medal, and she's the new European champion.
Yeah, fantastic. That's just, everybody can make mistakes. Fortunately, with the set system, it's just one set. It's only 2 points lost. It's not like compound where you have consecutive scores and one weak arrow the match is gone, isn't it?
Yeah, you can lose it in the first, can't you?
In Recurve, it's set system. 1 mistake or even 2 mistakes is fine. You just need to win. You just need 3 good sets.
Simple as that. So Richard Priestman says Amélie Kudo took 4 sets to take this one, but she wins the European title, 6 points to 2 over her teammate. A good day for France in the Recurve Under-18 Women's Tournament. Gold and silver. There's the smile of the new European champion. It's good to see the athletes standing and posing for a photo. Clearly, they are good friends off the shooting line. You can see a little bit of disappointment in the face of Delastan, but perhaps because of performance rather than the loss itself.
Yes, well, yeah, I'm sure she didn't perform like she wanted to do, and 4th place is a sad position. You don't get to go on the podium, do you?
Arguably the toughest match in sport, but certainly one of the most important, because as you say, a win and you're on the podium, a loss and, well, we're down in the record books but without a medal. And there was nothing obvious apart from the 1 mistake we saw from Kudo. There was nothing obvious from Delastan, certainly in her form. Do you think it was just nerves and wind? I
think it's nerves and wind. It's the occasion. You're performing on a stage here. There's a big crowd. There's a lot at stake, isn't there? And part of the greatness of these kind of competitions is learning, to cope with that. You've got a high heart rate. You've got all kinds of things to process. Often they're not the finished article yet. They've still got a lot to learn in techniques and fitness.
Well, this is it, like you say, a breeding ground, and here we go with the under-18 men's competition. Again, we've got the bronze medal match coming up first. That tough matchup between the losing semi-finalists. This time, another all-French affair. Addis takes on Viali, and it's an all-Turkish final coming up after that. Bronze medal match waiting in the wings.
Again, I think this match is a repeat of the final in European Youth Cup in Bucharest a couple of weeks ago. Both really nice archers. I like the technique of Addis. He makes it just look so easy and simple. He actually doesn't do the kind of follow through I like to teach, but his setup and his movement is really good.
On target number 1, representing France, Baptiste Adu. On target number 2, representing France, Romain Viale. And your line judge for this match is Natalia Romaniera.
So Richard, the French programme with Paris coming up around the corner, are they going to be seeing home medals for their archers?
It will be tough. You know, the good thing being the home team is they're automatically qualified. They've hired the ex-head coach from Korea, who is actually changing everything at the top level. He's changing the way they train, he's changed techniques, he's changed draw weight, so he's actually a very interesting, almost gamble to, you know, they were, French is consistently a good team, but they dipped a little bit, and they've just taken the plunge,
Well,
they're going for it.
These are the youngsters coming up in the wings. Maybe Paris is a little too early, but Baptiste Adis getting the match underway against Romain Viale.
Yeah, you should see a lot of fast shots from Adis. He's a quick shooter. He doesn't mess about.
9.
He always looks very relaxed.
10.
Very good start from both.
Yeah, this is not only fast, but it's in the middle.
Yes. Yeah, it's no good just being fast for the sake of it. We are actually trying to get the most points we can get.
Opportunity here for Viale. And just like that, well, that's the opportunity, but he didn't take it. And looks a little concerned. Anything in particular you saw there?
Tense. Yeah, it wasn't the best smooth follow through compared to the other two. It was just a little bit tight. And that just opens the group. Low right is often a signal of a kind of a weaker bow hand when it doesn't deliver quite as hard. So the kind of to me it's like a sin area. The low rights are ones which are avoidable if you make a positive finish off the front.
We'll take a look back over that first set. That was the 7, the one that dropped out, and
it might be he just wasn't happy with the wind. He looked puzzled when he came off. You see the tension on his forehead, so he probably didn't expect it to go there.
Well, first 2 set points to one of the coolest cats on the circuit, I'm told. Adis donning the beanie hat and the Snoopy Lucky Charm.
Usually relaxed, usually smiling. He enjoys his archery, and that's really important. Yeah, we're not being fed to the lions or anything like that. We're out here to do a sport that we love and to be as good as we can be.
Start of the second, it will be Viale to shoot first.
8.
So I know I'll see on the next shot, but there's certain things about his technique.
10.
So with Viale, you can see that his elbow never stops moving, so he's clearly pulling through the clicker. So if you're doing that, which is fine, you have to make sure you have a really good forward pressure. So if the forward pressure slackens off a little bit, then you're going to make a little error, which will probably low rights or low lefts.
10.
Well, 2 10s for Adis strengthens his cause for this bronze medal. The all French match off.
9.
Wow, perfect score there. First one of the match, and that's what you get, a smile.
See, it just makes it look so easy when you do that. Really, super shooting. No tension at all, is it?
So my lesson from you so far was taking you 3 matches to drill it into me. The follow through is pretty important.
Yeah, to me it's essential. and it shows the symptoms of what you've set up in the process leading up to that.
Well, here we get a look at Baptiste Addis.
And you see he keeps his eyes on the centre the whole time. His head does not move. He knows where it's going. Yeah, just nice and smooth, nodding his head, pleased with that. Really good.
And looking relaxed with that
Yes.
follow through as well.
Yes.
It's all part of that process from start to end.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of him in the future. I think when you're asking like who's going to break through to the senior team, well, if I was the Korean coach in Korea, I'd be very excited. The Korean coach in France, I'd be very excited.
Well, it's been a super start from Baptiste Addis. A perfect score in the second set, and leading by 4 set points to 0.
So third set, it's time to fight back or close the match, isn't it? He's not giving up.
Confidence boosting 10, yeah.
9. 9.
You get a view of the difference in the wind. No wind on the shooting line at the moment, but down the end of the range, you can see the flags moving, and then, as Richard said earlier on, we're getting a sort of swirling wind around the venue. And that's just, well, has that clipped the line for the 8? A 26 set down, gets a 9. Now, is that going to be enough, or will that 7 get marked up to an 8? At the moment, we've got it provisionally down as a 6-0 win for Addis, but Richard, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a 7. I think it might just be out because it's leaning out there, isn't it? But he might get lucky. Depends on how generous the judge is in this point.
Yeah, and there is the Baptiste Addis's lucky charm, a Lego Snoopy by the seems of things. That other toys are available, of course. A measure coming up on that arrow on the right-hand side, a magnifying glass coming out, proving that it's certainly one that's close enough.
Close, isn't it? It's just leaning away a little bit. No, it's down yet. No, it's a 7.
It has been marked down, and that means that the provisional score of 6-0 to Baptiste Addis will be confirmed, and he will be on the podium here in Lilleshall. And confirmation in venue, Baptiste Addis is the under-18 recurve men's individual bronze medalist at the European Championships, and we saw this pair doing this in the crowd yesterday in support of their teammates, and shows the respect between them. The coach giving Addis a hug, handshakes all round. A good day for the Frenchman with bronze. So an all-French affair in the bronze medal match. And now you probably see waiting in the wings the athletes for the next gold medal match. We take a look back over this. And again, Richard, this form of Addis is incredible, isn't it?
What is good is the shot is the same every time. It's nice and easy. There's no tension to get through the clicker and execute the shot. A little bit soft on the follow-through maybe, but he's getting his scores from good repetition and easy shot. He's clearly confident. He knows what he's doing. Yeah, impressive. Yeah, he didn't leave the yellow, did he? That's the dream as an archer. You want to at least stay within. You're trying to get 10s every time, of course, but to stay in the gold, in the 10 and the 9, that's what we're trying to do at every level.
So you're going to see this in training. These archers are regularly hitting the middle of the target in training.
Of course, yeah.
Add the pressure of competition.
Yeah, it's amazing that some archers incredible in training and then they don't perform in a competition. Some are the other way around. Some suit the same level, and some are real competitors and they come out really strong when it matters in the matches and maybe don't qualify so high. It's different psychological approaches to them all.
Time now to decide who is going to get the gold medal in the recurve under 18 men's competition. Let's go and meet the athletes.
So you'll see they both have Metigazos hats on, exactly the same style. They all shoot the same bows, set up exactly the same way with the stabilization. They found a system that works for them.
And your line judge for this match is Eleni Lenidou.
Well, Mustafa Ozdemir, we've seen already on this range. He goes up against another athlete that's had a little bit of experience on the range, Berke Akoyan. Now we know Tequila is a very strong archery nation. What are we going to see here, Richard? They are big rivals, and if anything, in Turkey, you've got to beat the person standing next to you to make the team.
Yes, it's incredibly tough now. They have great strength and depth. It's growing year by year. Like I said before, they've got over 50 professional coaches there. I don't know how many young archers on their programs. It's hundreds now, and you can see their plan was to dominate by 28 to 32.
Well, we start this gold medal match with Ozdemir putting it into the 8, and of course, if you're just joining us, it's Richard Priestman with his expert advice, former head of the Archery GB program here in Lilleshall, now coaching, and in Israel, head of the program there.
You can see with Berke there, he's really nice technique, but his bow arm is shaking a lot. That's a symptom of feeling pressure. And muscles not quite being in balance. It doesn't stop him hitting the middle.
Well, he's got a chance here to
see the bow arm shake. He's putting a lot of effort in there.
So you say it's an attacking sport, and he is attacking this, and he's taken an early lead, a 2-0 lead. So you're talking about this bow arm putting pressure. He's doing that, right? He's instigating.
Yes, there's a forward pressure which comes from the whole shoulder girdle, maybe from the left scapula, and that's driving forward through the triceps, through the bow arm, through the bow hand, through to the target. So then, you see what's interesting is on that instance of execution when the clicker drops and the string hand fingers relax, it's not just the string going forward, but the bow is coming back towards the archer. So you have to have that forward pressure to counteract the bow wanting to hit you. And so if the bow is not strong, your groups will be bigger.
So when you start talking about scapula and the sort of shoulder muscles and the triceps, surely you've got to do that, but you've also got to be relaxed while you're doing it. So you're at tension, but
and that's the paradox. The muscles are relaxed, but there needs to be minute movements going. It says micro movements. So it's not stiff and holding still, because we have to have movement to go through a clicker. And the movements are individual to archers. Some are off the back, some are off the front, some are both together. And part of the coaching is trying to find a system that the archer can do under pressure.
So you are coaching, whilst you may have a style, you're coaching each archer individually.
Oh yes, yes. That's the way I go about it. Yeah.
Well, start of the second set here, and if you're just joining us, you can see that Akoyan has taken the first set, so it is Ozdemir to get us underway for the second with a 10. And if you are joining us, I'm not going to apologise. You're welcome to Archery Geeks World. We're having a right old dive into the details of the sport.
What I like from the Turkey team is that you see how explosive the bow hand is on that first as it starts to go the follow through. That shows the forward pressure they've got.
high-quality match. And I think we were expecting this with two archers from Turkey, and there are the shades of Gazos, so even with that little lean forward.
It's uncanny, isn't it? But if you're going to copy somebody, why not copy Mete?
Why not copy the Olympic champion? 10 required to share the points. And it looks like it's just cut the line. And he has indeed shared the points this time. So Ozdemir are on the scoreboard, but still trails by 2 as Akoyan goes 3-1 up. I'm going to ask you a question that I've asked all our expert analysts, coaches and athletes, and we've had some pretty good guests in the box. Even today is a very special day. Not only are you here, but Ella Gibson was here as well. And I've asked her, Chef Annenberg, Nikki Hunt's done some of this as well. I'm going to ask you this question. Everyone says you're not worried about the person standing next to you or the team standing next to you. You're not worried about what they're doing. Come on, surely you know what they're doing and what you then have to do.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to escape him. I'm talking to Amy Archer all the time about just performance and mastery of your sport, and try to keep them away from outcome. So I don't want them to be adding up the scores in the head. I don't want them to be worrying about the opponent, but they know exactly, and on the follow through, they know the score that they've got. They'll tell you straight away, even though they know I'm saying I don't care about outcome. But it's really hard to get, because they want to win, don't they? They want to get a good score.
Of course, how can you win if you don't know what you need to do?
But it's often that the danger is that you just, when you're bursting to get a good outcome, you lose sight of it, and you fall just short.
Yeah, seeing the wood for the trees. Well, here it's a 3-1 lead for Akoyan, so Ozdemir starts, and that is a cracker of a shot again into the 10. Puts pressure on your opponent, that 10.
Of course it does, and you can't, you hear it, you hear the commentary. It's different on a qualifying round because there's no commentary going over here. You're going to hear it, of course, and you hear it when you're trying to prepare for your arrow, which can be a big distraction.
Yeah, in-venue announcer, although I have been on a beach in Antalya when you were coaching the British team, in fact, and the boys were going for a bronze medal. I think it was on Recurve Sunday, and I said, oh, they need a 6 here, and the archer heard me.
Yes, and they needed 5 to win, and he heard it at full draw, and he held for seemed like 20 seconds, and he shot a 6. He only just got it, and of course he heard you.
I can only apologise now.
It was so funny.
So a 9 measure for a 10 is not going to be enough, and just like that, Ozdemir has got himself back in this match where well, we wait for confirmation of the scores, but we think it is going to be all level. Do you know what? I didn't even know you knew that. I didn't know that you knew it was me that had called that, and I knew the guys had heard it.
We heard it, and we laughed about it afterwards. As soon as you said it, I'm thinking, oh God, no! And then he held, and it changes you. Normally you're trying to hit 10, aren't you? And if you needed a 10 to win, I'm sure he would have got a 10 to win because that's what he needed to do. But you only need 5 to win. That's how many sports do you see you only need to do something, and it kills you, doesn't it?
Oh, well, like I say, I can only apologise. That's well, a special moment for me. I'm going to go back and find that footage and then cut it together with this footage.
It's classic. It is classic because we were winning the match easily, and then oh my God, no. And you're watching the arrow going down, and yeah.
Brilliant. Well, this is a brilliant match as well. Let's get back to this all Turkey affair here. Oh, a great comeback for a 29 from Ozdemir in that set to draw it level at 3 apiece.
Yeah. It's they're fighting, aren't they? They both want to win. I don't know who normally comes out best between these two. I think they were ranked 6th and 4th in the initial rankings. So they're clearly both good archers.
Well, start.
With the Great Britain team, we've trained with Turkey a lot, and really impressive how intense their training is.
Yeah, well, it have to be for as strong as they are, and look at Akoyan here. He's in the middle.
Yeah, the pressure's on. Must have hurt this point, isn't it?
10,
Certainly is.
10,
One right, one left, and then into the middle.
It's one of those matches so good. I'd rather like you want to shoot off to happen, don't you? You want to get that close.
Well, an 8 is the lowest scoring arrow for Akoyan in this fourth set, but it does mean he gets the set points and now goes back into that 2-point lead. But yeah, you're right, the quality, it's not only the quality, but we talked about earlier on the speed as well. Let me ask you a question about that. So I've heard a couple of archers talking about the pressure that someone on the other side of the shooting line shooting faster than you puts you under because you've got less time to recover. Do you believe in that?
Oh yes, very much so. And I think you, as a coach and archer, you need to plan for that. If you're up against a fast opponent, you'll know that within 5 seconds of you finishing your shot, the beep's going to go and you've got to go again. And if you're not ready for that, you don't have time to recover physically, and mentally you can get flustered. And you can lose to a low-ranked archer by not being ready for it. And again, the other opposite, if you shoot against a fast archer, he wants to get up and at it, so it's quite good to slow them down if you can. There's some tactics to go on
Yeah,
there
I mean,
as well.
it's those nuances of the sport are what make, you look at this and go, well, it's a pretty simple concept, isn't it? You hit the middle of the target and you're going to win the competition, but there are so many fine margins in it. Really make it an intriguing battle. Look, we're going to go into a 5th and final regulation set here. Akoyan has re-established the lead against his teammate Ozdemir, so Ozdemir shoots first.
9,
Good start. But you'll see always fast shooting from the Turkish team. That's the way they train. They're doing 6-7 hours shooting time every day, 2 sessions, 3 sessions. Massive volume, 600 hours a day, and so they're really automating their shot to make it easier to produce under pressure.
They're shooting 600 arrows a day.
Yeah, think about it. That's a phenomenal amount, and the strain on the body. It's not only the 600 arrows. It's there'll be another hour in the gym, or hour and a half in the gym, or the warm-up time. They're real athletes.
9,
Well, here it is. The opportunity has finally come for Berke Akoyan. An 8 for the gold medal. He did a bit of Bo Kwando there, but it's into the 9. We do obviously have to wait for final confirmation, but provisionally that is a 7-3 win for Berke Akoyan. Hug from his teammate usually indicates they know this one is over, but the new European champion is Turkey's Berke Akoyan.
Oh, excellent shooting from him, wasn't it? He was clearly he looked on it. He was focused. His shot didn't break down at all, did it? I noticed his opponent Ozdemir at that end. His last 3 hours were a bit messy. He kind of lost I think he lost the impetus at that point. Like he'd almost broken him a little bit. So his shot wasn't as precise or as clean as has been in previous sets.
And that focus, that ability to concentrate over a long period of time, and let's not forget we're just watching the tail end of this. They've been shooting all week in teams, some of the mixed teams, and now in the individuals. That takes a lot of concentration for a senior athlete. These are kids.
Yeah, of course it's tough. It's like, how do you drive yourself on day by day? They're getting up at 6:30 in the morning, and then it's just intense every day. And this is why if you don't love it, it becomes a real chore, and you struggle with. You can see how much they're enjoying it.
Yeah, and I think that you perhaps stand out a little bit as a coach that expresses that desire to enjoy and have fun. Because if you're not having fun, then where is your love for the sport? Why are you doing it? How can you perform at the very highest levels? And I think that's the case for most athletes, and especially at this age.
It's hard to balance that because they have to work stupidly hard. And one of my requests to the sports psychs is, how can you help the archer with training psych? A lot of the sports psych you hear about is for competition, which I think most archers generally do quite well. Some make mistakes, but they do pretty good, and there's good systems there. But the psych behind training every day, when you've got training pain, sore fingers, and you're tired, and you don't really want to train, but you've got another 300-hour session, that's hard to keep going, and it can break people that way. So if you're not enjoying it, if you don't enjoy the challenge, then you're in trouble, aren't you?
Definitely, it's different stresses as well in competition compared to training. You know, if training's not going well, you're not necessarily losing ranking points or anything like that, but it can be a bit of a burden. Whereas if you don't compete well and still win, there's a different kind of stress.
I mean, you need to be confident, of course, and one bad training session can break confidence, and it can take weeks to repair that, or longer sometimes.
And this is what it's all about. Celebrating with victory ceremonies. Our first one of the afternoon is for the under-18 Recurve women's individual competition.
The medals will be presented by the Chair of the World Archery Europe Youth Development Committee and Event Technical Delegate, Irina Rosa. The gifts will be presented by Archery GB board member Andrew Stanford. The bronze medal, representing Spain,
Well, it was a brilliant performance from the Spaniard in their very first match against her teammate, Miriam Arena Sanchez, with the bronze medal.
The silver medal, representing France, Mila from Delastan.
Sorry, that was De La Fuente Torrecilla taking the Spanish bronze, and it was an all-French final, and it was Fréméry Delastan with the silver. She got a little bit blown away by her opponent, and I don't use that phrase tongue-in-cheek. The wind was blowing, as it is now. The new European champion is Amélie Kudo from France. A nation looking forward to the next Olympic Games in Paris. A real celebration is promised on the banks of the Seine, and it will be the French who will be cheering on their archers along the river that runs through the city. Now they get to celebrate with their national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, please stand for the national anthem of France. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
So that's the medal ceremonies done for the Recurve under-18 women. Coming up very shortly, we'll celebrate with the Recurve under-18 men. Two strong nations competing for the medals, and they will appear on the podium very shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve under-18 men.
Victory ceremony now for the Recurve under-18 men's individual tournament here at the European Youth Archery Championships of 2022.
Medals will be presented by World Archery Europe Executive Board Member Hilda Gibson.
Hilda Gibson going to be presenting the medals.
Our winner is an event sponsor, Tony Park.
Well, you can't have an archery competition without a Korean, and here's a representative from one of the manufacturers.
Yeah, Tony Park, he's the boss's son from Win and Win, so he's an incredibly nice guy. Win Win are so supportive of archers, as are the other main companies as well. But generally nice people. Yeah, they're very nice to talk to.
Well, he's giving.
They genuinely care.
Yeah, he's giving out the gifts here, the 3D printed versions of the mascot Fletch, and that is Baptiste Addis of France collecting bronze. Well, it was an up and down final for this young archer. Mustafa Ozdemir didn't get off to the best start, leveled things up in the final, but his opponent grew stronger as the match went on. So Ozdemir having to settle for the silver medal.
It's interesting the difference in happiness of some archers on the podium. Those who wanted to win are not in first and they look sad, and then others look so happy.
Absolutely, and he is going to be the happiest man of the lot. The new European champion for the Recurve under-18 men is Berke Akoyan from Turkey. 2 medals for that country in this discipline. And of course, yet again, we're going to hear the Turkish national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're able, please stand for the national anthem of Tequila. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Well, there we go. Fantastic performance from the under-18s here, but that is the end of the under-18 tournament. There's a tinge of sadness in that one, isn't there, Richard?
Yes, I guess the competition's finished for them, isn't it? All that, the emotion and the build-up and the hard work during the week, and you've had success, you've not had success, so there's an emotional moment for the next 20 minutes or a bit longer maybe, and then it settles down, then they're all back to normal again.
Well, we haven't run out of live archery here. Coming up right now, we go to the under-21 discipline, and we go back to the women. Again, it's the losing semi-finalist that we'll see up first. Caroline Lopez from France taking on Amelie Storley from Norway. We don't see very many Norwegians, but we have got one here competing for this bronze medal. Amelie Storley against Caroline Lopez coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Amelie I've not seen before. I've not seen many good recurve archers from Norway in recent years. They've had a few good compounders, obviously they've got quality there, so it's really interesting. I hope they've got some good programs going there. I mean, Amelie didn't qualify with a particularly high score. She was quite a low qualifier, but she won through some matches with some consistently high scores, so really interesting.
Well, here come the archers for this bronze medal match for the recurve under 21 women. Let's go down to the shooting line for the athlete introductions.
On target number 1, representing France, Lopez. And on target number 2, representing Norway, Storley. And the line judge for this match is Anthem.
Well, the athletes being introduced out. You talked about Amelie Storley not qualifying so highly, but she came through a pretty tough part of the draw, didn't she?
She did. She's taken out some really good archers. Yeah, at every level. Yes, Italian. There was Louisa Piper from GB. Yeah, some really very experienced archers there. So all credit to her.
Yeah, very good work from her. And not an easy ride for Caroline Lopez, but she shot very well to make it through. Losing out in the semi-finals, of course. So they are here to face off for bronze, and it will be Lopez to get us underway.
8.
She's just gone a little bit left there. We've seen that before, I think.
9.
Again, left, but better shot in the 9. Good.
9.
So quite fast shooting from the French girl. Emily a little bit slower, a bit more struggly.
5 could be 6.
A lot of movement there, isn't there?
Yes, the wind's really catching her there. This is a tough shot.
5.
Push that into a clear 5 for a 22. So that's 6 not looking so bad now. 7 to draw, and the set points.
Yeah,
And
well
8 gets her the 2 set points after a 6 now. Richard, lots to dissect there. That second arrow
Yes.
from Storley, it went into the target at a very strange angle.
You see she was struggling. I think she got caught in some turbulent air, and it wasn't a clean shot. And it's interesting, if you don't do a clean, strong shot when it's strong wind, the wind will carry it more. That's one of the top tips really, is shoot them strong and clean, don't mess about, don't try and aim too much, and it won't drift as much. So when you hang on and try harder, and don't do that good finish, you get punished.
And when you say clean shot, what do you actually mean? But what, the arrow
It's
drives out straight, or?
It's just like keeping the power on. So we have expansion, so there's power on, and you put the power onto the end of the follow through, and there's no disturbance to the arrow or the string as you're going through the execution, the release part of the shot. So it feels crisp, it feels easier, it's less flappy on the release, you could say.
And does it mean that if you shoot clean, the arrow's going to
the arrow
travel
flies
faster,
cleaner? Yes.
faster, so it's not going to get affected as much by drag?
If you disturb on the execution release point of view, the paradox of the arrow is not flying as straight, so the wind will take it more.
Well, Storley getting away, you have to say, with a 6. It was a very strange shot, went into the target at a very strange angle, but she needed an 8 to secure the points with a fairly conservative 23 in the first set.
Yes, if your opponent gives you a present, you have to take advantage of it, don't you?
It's that opportunity and taking it again, isn't it?
Yes.
Second set here, Caroline Lopez needs to fight back quickly.
Yeah, she's quite experienced. It'll be interesting to see how she responds to this. Yes, straight in the axe, so that shows you.
Eight could be 9.
I think is 9.
So does our scorer. Got a little asterisk on it, which means it will just be checked by the target judge. It's drifted down into the 8. Not the consistency.
No, it's just not quite as good technically. I think she's clearly trying really hard and she's putting a lot into the follow through. The setup's not quite as good. She's straining a bit. The back elbow's breaking downwards a little bit as she's expanding.
So 24 there, and perhaps it was a bit of an anomaly the first set because Lopez shot a 28 there and looked absolutely fantastic. You said experience, Richard. Caroline Lopez is a team bronze medalist at the senior championships back in 2021 at the World Archery Championships.
Yeah, and what a difference when you've gone from senior level to this level. Yeah, she's been around a while. She can shoot. Of course, she can shoot.
And that young trio of archers at the senior level is pretty special, isn't it? They have got a very young team.
Yes.
Getting ready for Paris for the home
they really
competition.
have, and they've got a group below the main team. They've got a group who can shoot as well. So it's really exciting for France. And I think that's the key for all national teams. Is there's got to be that pipeline coming from below. Stops the seniors getting complacent because you know someone wants your place. And this is a statement, isn't it? You keep winning medals internationally, you're going to get selected.
Yeah, and like you say, it's a statement at all levels, isn't it? It's not just because this is the youth championships, it makes it no less important when you're looking at selection and when you're looking for experience. I mean, some of these archers would have never had a camera pointed in their face, and they've had it for the first time here.
Yeah, and because they're certainly going to go to the Olympics. So when you've been in this atmosphere and you cope with it well, nothing's a problem then. And again, you realise, the under 21s are shooting 70 metres. That's the Olympic distance. This is exactly the format they'll do for the rest of their archery careers. This distance.
Well, what better place? I mean, like you say, they can afford to make mistakes. They're young enough to make those mistakes here, but they're getting the full experience. Lopez has drawn level in this match and shoots first at 2-2 in the third set.
So nice follow through, but you just see the slight weakness in the setup, so it drops low. As a coach, I like to work with Archer there because she's clearly got a good brain and she's got feelings, but she hasn't got the good technique to back it up. So it's relatively easy to add value and improve them quite quickly as you improve technique.
Are you making a pitch for to the Norwegian Archery Federation here?
I think Israel might be a little bit warm for her from Norway, I don't know.
Drifting out into the 8 for a 26, so that puts some serious pressure on Emily.
She has an opportunity.
10 required to share the points, but it's low 7 and 23. I think I called it an anomaly that first set. It's looking more and more like that, isn't it? An 8-9-5 from Lopez clearly is a lot lower than she's capable of shooting.
Clearly she got caught on one arrow when it got really blustery. The rest of her arrows have been very accurate, haven't they? And well shot, well controlled. She looks in control of what she's doing. And I think for her, as long as she should win, but this win could change at any moment. And you've only got 20 seconds to shoot, and if you've got a windy 20 seconds, then you're in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you described it beautifully earlier on. It's one of the most beautiful venues for archery.
Yes, isn't it?
Archery.
Yes.
The blooming hard work in the wind.
There's been so many competitions on exactly the same venue, and it's very rare you see really good scores, even from the best seniors in Great Britain. They struggle at times, and they're scratching their heads with the difficulty of the breeze here.
I gotta say, I mean, you know, not often you get the opportunity to walk down the range, but I did on the first day we arrived here, and the changeable condition. I mean, literally, you called it, you said it. You can be standing at one end, the wind is coming across from the right-hand side, and you feel it on the left, and then you go and stand in the middle of the range, and there's no wind at all.
Exactly,
it's so
not
weird.
And you know, the arrows are very light. The arrows are going fast, but they're very light, and the slightest puff of wind, or you know, it moves them, and they're really snaking through the air.
Start of the fourth set here, and Lopez is showing her form. She's come from 2-0 down to lead 4-2, so it will be the Norwegian Emily Storley to shoot first.
Good, yeah, she attacks the finish. She really does. She puts everything into that follow through. That was a much longer hold that time. I don't, maybe the wind was pushing her, and then she lost power on the shot, dropped low.
Now, sometimes an arrow is really important. I think this is that very arrow for Lopez. She needed that 10, didn't she?
10. So if you look at the holes on the target face, you'll see Emily's most are centre or low. It's all about getting the arrows centred to maximise your score, but most of the errors are low.
Well, a 9 required for the bronze medal here at the European Championships. Lopez releases, and it's on the line between a 9 and a 10. She'll get the 10 for another 28, and she has taken this bronze medal. It took her 4 sets. She was affected by wind in the first set, dropped to 22. So got onto the scoreboard as a result of that, but since then it's all been Caroline Lopez, and she is the European Championship bronze medalist.
It's great. It has a nice sound. A European champion is fantastic, isn't it? What a great title to have on your CV. Yeah, she's already in the senior national team there, so she has a great future.
Yeah, she certainly is. And I'll tell you what, if you look at the sort of de facto leader as Caroline Lopez gets confirmed as the winner of the bronze medal final at these European Championships, and she will be standing on the podium a little bit later. You look at the team that's around her, the de facto leader, Lisa Barbland, what a character, what an incredible smile she has. But she's also very young as well.
Yes, the whole, you look at the whole French team, or the girls, there's so much strength and depth. That whole testament to the good youth programs they have. They're very competitive. And a lot of hard work, of course, and smart coaches.
We take a look back over the bronze medal match. Storley put in a bit of a fight, but when you look at the scores, a 23, a 24 and a 26, at this level, that's not quite good enough, is it?
It's not where she'll want to be. I mean, she's had a fantastic tournament. She's come away with the 4th place. That's not a bad result, is it?
Not at all.
And you hope that she'll take strength from that and go back home and really work on technique and fitness and really grow as an archer.
Yeah, but the celebrations are all with Caroline Lopez. She's going to be on the podium here. It's another world medal for France and Lopez, as they will very soon be turning their eyes towards the Olympic Games. Well, the applause are for the officials and coaches coming out for the gold medal match. Lopez has got the bronze in the under-21 recurve women's category. And we're about to find out who is going to get the gold medal. Time for the recurve under-21 women's gold medal final. The archers parading out. We'll go down and hand over to the stadium announcer for the athlete introductions.
On target number 1, representing Turkey, Bazaran. And on target 2, representing Spain, Infante. And Yolanda for this match, Mila.
Well, big Spanish contingent out there as Leira Fernandez Infante takes on Ezi Bazaran from Turkey. Spain versus Turkey. Spain have had a good tournament here, haven't they, Richard?
Spain, yes, and well expected. I know they have good programs there. They have a nice academy around Madrid, and very good coaching at national level as well. They always seem to produce a wealth of talent there, especially the girls' side. Always competitive.
Yeah.
You know, once you have a succession of archers, it just breeds success in the future. It's
really
just
does.
normal to be competitive, so
it's
that
interesting.
really helps.
Having a little seedling come through really does push things on. Time to go for gold here, though, and again, it's Tequila challenging with Ezi Bazaran starting with a 9.
So Turkey, a girl, Bazaran, she's already in the senior national team, very experienced. I think she appeared a year or so ago. Again, on the full training program. She's used to working really hard, of course.
Bit of pressure, though, I feel, comes with these younger archers from Turkey. Of course, there's pressure on the seniors, but they're used to handling, more experience.
Yes.
But yesterday we saw one of the teams perhaps struggling under that weight of expectation.
Well, yeah, they're expected to win something, aren't they? And that has its pressures. They don't want to be sitting on the plane going home and haven't gone home with something. That's not where you want to be, is it?
Well, Bazaran started this one off at a rate of knots at 28, is out of reach already for Fernandez Infante. And well, a big spread of arrows as well. And I can almost see you wincing there, Richard. That's not what an archer wants.
No, she wasn't happy with that shot at all. Yeah. Again, that smooth, clean, crisp shot that you want to do, that didn't happen. And that's one thing that happens under pressure on the stage. If you don't do that, then you pay the price, don't you?
Well, one thing is for sure, the Spanish spectators, part of the team, are really trying to liven things up. What's going on here?
So, yeah, she's chatting through what she should have done. She's only shadowing the proper flow of the technique. Great coach, great competitor myself. He'll be talking to her exactly what she needs to do. Get back on your process, pick your spot, finish the shot. Could be the Spanish versions of what I've said there.
Yeah. And then we'll give you a good paella for dinner.
The Spanish do work a lot on the psych part of the game. They're very much psych related to process.
During the enforced hiatus, I saw the Spanish coach on as part of a sort of a lecture series with a bunch of coaches. I think you may well have been on one of those over lockdown with World Archery, and he talks very specifically about what you mentioned earlier on, having your style, teaching your way, but treating each individual athlete as an individual.
Because you've got to find out, every archer can't do everything. We can't do it from the book. Some can, but most can't. And you've got to find out what can they do, what are the strengths, but what can they do, and you keep improving on that. We're trying to get rid of the limitations, but we've got to keep the strengths.
Well, we're going to need some strength here from Leira Fernandez Infante. She starts the second set trailing by 2 set points, but that looked like a pretty decent shot.
Yes, she did the shot she was supposed to do on that one. That was really good. Bazaran looks in good form, doesn't she?
She's got some support in the crowd as well.
See, they're very shaky on the bow arm. She's just one of the issues with Recurve archers shoot with the clicker, and when that becomes part of your conscious brain trying to make it click, you see that shaking comes in, and then those little execution errors start to creep in.
9.
And then we just miss the lines. You know, 10s become 9s, 9s becomes 8s, and then you start leaking points. So that was sort of the shake made it go into the 7. You know, the smoothness not quite there. Yeah, actually Bazran there, her bow was shaking quite a lot, wasn't it? That was an uncharacteristic shot from it.
Well, sharing the points there, perhaps Bazran had an opportunity to go into the lead, but here's one for you. And I'm happy for you to tell me I've got it completely wrong here, but did the speed that Bazran was shooting at affect Fernandez Infante, and then affected her, because she didn't have enough time to recover?
Of course, I mean, these girls will be shooting 40 pounds plus, I'm sure of that. That's a lot of work, and you need some seconds for the lactate to come out the muscles and relax, and then you prepare mentally, and there isn't time.
Yeah, it's like almost like an on-off switch when you're shooting at this kind of pace.
And then your brain is switching from, you know, sort of performance, and then it's about outcome, and it's about your technique and process, and you got all these things going on, hitting you all the time.
And with all that, your heart rate is pounding as well.
I wish they would do it every shoot where we could see the heart rate of the athletes. I think people would be quite surprised how high it goes.
It'd be brilliant on the graphic, wouldn't it?
We need to see it. It kind of lets us see the stress levels, because you think some of them are quite calm and relaxed, and I'm sure they're not.
Yes, they're good at hiding their emotions, I've found, archers. Well, a tied second set puts Bazran 3-1 up, so holding that 2-point lead, but of course 1 point closer to the target score of 6. Gold medal and a European title at stake. So big deep breath from Fernandez Infante. She needs to fight back right now.
Nice shot, wasn't it? Yeah, that was. Her eyes wasn't even a blink. She was focused.
9.
That
was a lovely shot, yes. Very quick, powerful.
Do we think the 9 is a 10 and actually they're all square at the moment?
I think it is.
So these 2 hours really important. Another 9. So we think that Fernandez Infante is actually on a 28 here. We have to wait for confirmation, of course. But a 10 here would definitely put this out of reach. Now, this is where the measure becomes very, very important.
You need a present from the judge to get that one. Often these are 50-50 and not everybody's eyes are the same.
Interesting. Yes. Potentially controversial, Richard Priestman.
I mean, the archers and the coaches always think that your archers are in.
Of course, yes.
And then the other coach's archers thinks he's out. And then you have this discussion, don't you?
Yeah.
And the judges have to be totally neutral. They're under pressure.
Of course
they have to make a decision, and they know it does.
It's the European Championships for them as well. So here is the target judge having a good old look at this one.
They do have really good training, and they have discussions about these things all the time.
And you called it spot on. It has been marked up, and that means it's 28 apiece, and the score changes from 5-1 to 4-2. So Bazran still with a 2-point lead, 1 point closer to the target score of 6 points. But Fernandez Infante is still in this match. Now, are you seeing a chance against Bazran for Fernandez Infante?
Yeah, I think it's still very open. I think this could. Bazran is the quality archer, but she hasn't closed the door, has she? She's had 2 opportunities to close the door, and it hasn't happened. The other girls fought back. There's a big mental game going on, so obviously this set's crucial now.
Absolutely.
See, there's some mental imagery going on there. She's psyching herself up.
Yeah, trying not to show that emotion, though.
Yes. She'll be thinking about the shot she's running it through.
Yeah.
She's running through the full process. The process has to happen in full, and you have to pick the right spot. Two things have to go on with the right timing, with the right spirit.
A lot to handle for these young archers. Another deep breath from Infante.
Classic string fingers there. Like, see, like 2.5 fingers, which I like to see.
Now,
let's open the door.
Yeah, it's Bazran licking her lips here. The opportunity.
Okay, Bazran again, 2.5 fingers. Oh.
8 for her as well. She's struggling to get this one over the line.
Yeah. She's fighting. You see, she's struggling. The shaking, and she's trying to get. She's trying to make it click, but she made a good shot in the end.
We saw the reaction there from Bazran. Now, the door is open. I think that 9's going to get marked up to a 10. So a 9 might be enough here, but oh my goodness me.
There was your opportunity. You have to take it.
The pressure when you know you can
and
do
the brain, the human brain switches to outcome.
And now this is critical because that is bang on the line here.
Yes.
Now she's got 2 arrows, Bazran, that are measured 8, and if one of those is to go up. Well, in fact, if you look at the scores, it's actually that 9 now that's a critical one. So
yes.
Bazran remains 8-8-8 and a 24, and Fernandez Infante has her 9 marked up to a 10. It won't be 6-2.
No, it could be 5-3, so we'll see. And Bazran's last arrow, that was far from convincing. It's an 8 or a 9, but it wasn't a great shot.
Right, that 9 in the middle is the one that's really important. The one that's being measured at the top of the 10 ring. Is it on the line?
Yes, she pointed up, so it's a 10. So let's see. She's got 2 to look at on the next target.
Yeah, so 24 is Leira Fernandez Infante's final
the
score.
waiting is terrible, isn't it?
It's great for us, though, isn't it? This is great drama. 2-8, potentially going up for a measure here. The one on the right.
That looks like a 9. That one's an 8. Yeah. Oh.
So you bang on. One of those 8s has been marked up to a 9. So that's a 25, playing a 24. Both archers getting 1 arrow marked up. And it does mean that, the contest is over. And Ezi Bazran of Turkey is the new European champion.
Yeah, yet another champion from Turkey. Wow. I went to a seminar in Turkey about 3 years ago, and they talked about their plan to start to dominate, and it's happening. They've stuck to the plan.
Well, certainly on European level, but come on,
Korea, yeah, of course. Korea have had this legacy from going back from 1979 when they first won the World Championships, and they got these great programs from school level, but other countries are catching on slowly, and it's like Korea keep winning the Olympics every year, don't they?
Yeah.
But every year it's getting closer and closer and closer.
And Gazos obviously getting that.
It.
And are we going to see Bazran? Are we going to see Bazran in Paris? She's, as you say, on the senior team already. She's now the junior European champion.
Yes, you wouldn't bet against it. No, you wouldn't. They'll keep on growing. She'll be back on the 600 arrows on Monday morning. That's the surprise for winning here.
Yeah, well done. You're going to have just 600 today.
Yeah, good news. 600 arrows today.
That's something incredible. I've had a little crack at this under the tutelage of World Archery's Thomas Aubert in Salt Lake City.
Right,
yes. A crack at this. 12 metres. I got an 8 over 12 metres. I thought that was pretty good for my first go.
I mean, it's more. It's not just the age. It's how good was the process? How good was the quality of your technique?
I think, Tom, I was quite impressed because I'm a former athlete myself, not in archery, but I think because I would naturally mimic what I'm seeing and commentating on hundreds of matches. He was quite impressed with my string arm elbow, he said.
Were you more kind of Kiesikli, Brady kind of
Oh,
technique?
that's
or,
I don't think I was anywhere near any of them.
Korean style.
Well,
It's interesting. There are different styles that There's definitely a Turkish technique now. There's definitely,
which we're seeing here.
You see that repeated in all their archery. You'll see there's definitely a Korean technique, an Asian technique. There's an American technique, and then you see in Europe a real mixture of all of them.
But you said about Turkey and Basaran, it's that same process over and over again that they're pushing through.
Yeah, it's strength, it's repetition.
And coming down to a measure in that gold medal match, it gave us a very, very tense finish. But in the end, the European title going to Basaran. Ezi Basaran will be on the podium at the top. We turn our attention now to the conclusion of the final event here at these European Championships, and that's the medal matches for the Recurve under-21 men. The losing semi-finalists are Matteo Balsamo and Matthias Kramer. Italy versus Germany for the bronze medal, and then it will be Bulgaria versus Great Britain, a first appearance for a Bulgarian archer on the podium range here in Lilleshall. But first up, it will be Italy versus Germany here in this beautiful venue in Lilleshall in the West Midlands of the UK. And the athletes are making their way out on to the shooting line. It's Recurve under-21 men's bronze medal time at the European Championships. Let's hand over to the stadium announcer for the athlete introductions.
On target number 1, representing Italy, Matteo Balsamo. On target number 2, representing Germany, Matthias Kramer. And your line judge for this match is Eleni Benedou. And it will be
So here we go. It's the Recurve men's under-21 individual bronze medal match. Matteo Balsamo against Matthias Kramer. Italy versus Germany. Again, a couple of nations pretty strong at archery.
Yes, both Germany, again, incredible youth programs out of their Olympic Centre. Very, very good coach in Mark Dellenbach, who's creating good archers everywhere he goes. And Italy, of course, always good. Balsamo's interesting. If anybody watching techniques, he has a very unusual technique. You'll see that he holds a long time. It's a different kind of setup.
Kramer gets us
but
underway.
he is very accurate at times. He can shoot really well. He has some outstanding results at times. He's very loose on the string side. He took out one of my archers in this competition, so he shot really well.
Kramer is the one that's got off to the flying start here. A 9 followed by a 10. Balsamo going high into the target.
Yes, yeah, that's a surprise. He's very light on the anchor. His elbow's low. He's a bit shaky.
8 could be 9.
He kept shooting 10s against us.
Not so right now. A bit of pressure, I think, on him here, and this one could be out of reach here with an 8 for a 27. So the first set points are going to go to the German.
It's interesting, the German's shooting really fast, and Matteo is a slow shooter, so that's going to put quite a bit of pressure on him.
Going in the right direction, though, but 24 not enough for the points here, and it will be the German that gets the set points underway here, going 2-0 up. Balsamo has competed here on this podium range yesterday in the men's team competition, so he's got experience. First time we've seen Kramer on the Orangery range.
Yeah, and I think it's a range you need to have been on before. You do need the experience. Although it can break some people as well. If you don't perform well, do you want to go back on it again tomorrow? That's
Yeah, we've seen a couple of athletes coming off looking pretty crushed by the experience of this range. It's a great place to view archery. Not so sure the archers feel quite the same when there's European medals up for grabs.
It's winning and losing. These are head-to-head winning and losing battles, and nobody wants to lose. Everybody wants to win, and of course it's emotional. You can't take the emotion out of what's going on here.
Well, a quiet and dampened group of Italians in the crowd here. I want them to try and pick up their energy to try and carry Matteo Balsamo into some slightly better form here. But it's the German, Matthias Kramer, who is leading this 2 set points to 0. So Balsamo will shoot first in the second set.
Yeah, pressure's on him now. Usually he takes the challenge, and he normally shoots a lot of 10s when he needs to. A good mental game. He's not found it yet. Matthias is very typical German, big, strong, powerful. They attack the target. Under their training is there's obviously a lot of strength-based training goes on. Just shooting a 10 gives you so much confidence.
Two X's though for...
He looked a bit anxious about the shot, but it got there.
Just a little bit of movement you can see from the stabilizer,
yes.
and that's the result.
He was being pushed. You can see from that back view his elbow alignment is not great.
They flew that one out of the bow pretty quickly as well. Not full draw really for very long. He doesn't want to break his process, does he, Kramer? I mean, he's taken that set fairly comfortably with the 27, but that was a much quicker shot than even he's done before.
Yeah, it was maybe it was an easy set to win, probably in his mind, and he hasn't quite done the normal process. But it was a safe shot, I guess, just easy shot. He didn't have to probably didn't want to make a big mistake.
We look at the first arrow going straight into the X. He's already getting ready. That's the reaction of the teammates. The second shot, that was the one that he felt a bit shaky on, but look at that, right in the X. Getting ready and loading up for the third shot, which went off at a rate of knots. So you're standing there in the coaching box, for example.
Yes.
Are you going to turn around and go, naughty boy, that third shot was way too quick?
Yeah, I think you have to. What I was saying is, like, that shot wasn't perfect. Okay, you got away with the set, but get back on your process, set it up good, finish it good.
So always keeping on that positive note.
That second shot, which was an X, but it wasn't clean and pure. It got there. So sometimes with that you have to reset. Great, you got an X, but actually you need to reset it, get back on the process, get back on it, and then otherwise it carries on to the next set, and then the next one's not good. It's a big
and that was my point.
On.
That was my point about the third arrow as well, going off so fast. Not the best setup for this third, and as you call it, most important set of the match.
Yes.
Matthias Kramer.
Yeah, he has to win this one, or at least get a point from it.
Yeah, Kramer leading by 4 set points to 0. Balsamo needs to get on the scoreboard here.
9.
He's struggled to get the height. He's been high, then he went low, and then I don't know why that is.
Ominous.
Yes, that was very deliberate, wasn't it?
A lot of movement again.
Yeah, something's disturbing, isn't it? I don't know if it's the wind or just being here, but he is very experienced. I wouldn't have thought the stage would affect him.
Well, there's a door
open.
open.
The door.
So 16s apiece here. So this set's going to come down to a single arrow.
Could be one of those definitive arrows that changes direction of the match.
That's what Balsamo will be hoping. out of the
Yes,
bow and into
so
the 10. So
take the opportunity. That changes from being almost down and out. Yeah.
to being on the scoreboard with a very solid 2 points. And Richard, we looked through the 9 arrows that Balsamo shot. Of course, I'm not an expert, but he doesn't look like there's anything in particular going wrong. A couple of the arrows, just before they're released, there's been a little bit of movement. Put those aside. Everything else in his technique, I can't see anything.
I think his, I think he's a clean archer his technique is not optimal, but he must have really great fine control and feelings. He needs to feel the middle. And then it's more like feeling the force. It's the Zen part of it, and I think he's really good at that. But you've got to latch onto the middle and feel where it is. If you don't, he's up and low. He didn't know where the middle was, and then he found it. So
yeah, that's that arrow that opened the door, as you called it.
Yes.
And that was the one that sealed the points for Balsamo. He took his time to feel the middle of the target. Now, so can he stay there?
Yeah, so his confidence will have risen a lot there, won't it? And Mateus will be thinking, hang on a minute, this is not so easy now.
And it's not so long ago that we said, that's ominous, that 10, the very first arrow from Kramer in that third set.
That's when you switch from being process-based to outcome-based. I can see the win. Pressure's on.
Good point indeed, and that's what makes this sport so fascinating. Balsamo has fought his way back into the middle. Richard Priestman says he's found the middle of the target. The question is now, can he stay there? Set number 4 of this bronze medal match.
It's wind's blowing hard. Yes, that was really pushing him, wasn't it? And when the wind's blowing hard, you got this, like, do I aim off, do I aim on the middle, and you have to make decisions.
Quicker shot there.
It's not over yet.
The spread of the arrows is not something that he would be expecting.
No.
But you mentioned the wind, and we just caught the 2 socks flying away. And the German is again handling the conditions better. That is a big 5-point gap with 1 arrow left in this set. Needs a big score here, Balsamo. Gets it into the 9. A 22 though, is that enough? A 5 to win the bronze medal. And the German pops it into the 10. And Matthias Kramer has secured the medal. He had a mini wobble in the 3rd, but he's taken it through the line in the 4th. A 28 has secured the points he needed for the European bronze medal. We are, of course, waiting for confirmation, but such a big points difference, I think we can safely say, and the big smile on his face tells us that he is the European Championship bronze medalist. Balsamo didn't get into the match. You've got to beat who's put in front of you, so congratulations to Kramer. He did a great job.
Really well.
Strong.
Yes, no, I think that's it. You made a couple of mistakes going left, but the rest were a lot of X's and good 10s there. That's what we're trying to do, isn't it? He did his job. Balsamo, he didn't bring his game with him today.
Nerves?
I wouldn't have thought so. He's a well-established. He's been to a lot of competitions. He's won competitions before at this level, so that's a surprise. I expected more from him. Sometimes certain conditions don't suit certain archers. Maybe some kind of winds is more destructive to archers' techniques than others. But
yeah, and like I said, they didn't necessarily look anything obvious.
No, that was his
wrong.
normal shot. It's like I say, it's not a pure shot, but normally he gets very centered.
Well, the bronze is settled, and we have 1 more to go here. And these European Championships are starting to draw to a close as we take a look back against the bronze medal match between Italy's Balsamo and Germany's Kramer. They didn't quite get enough rhythm going throughout the match. The Italian, the German remained strong. 3 X's, 3 10s, There were a couple of stray arrows, but he did it in 4 sets, 6 points to 2, and a very, very disciplined approach, both in terms of the physical performance, but also his mental agility.
Yeah, very physical. Yes, muscular. Clearly straining on every arrow. He's really working. Very deliberate on the finish. Yeah, maximum effort going on there. Very driven.
Hard-fought bronze medal
Yes.
at the European Championships for Matthias Kramer. Just one more to go. I say with a tinge of sadness, it's been a brilliant tournament here in Lilleshall at the National Sports Centre here in the West Midlands of the United Kingdom. And the medal match that we are going to go to is the Recurve Under 21 men's gold medal. Kramer with bronze, and we are just moments away from finding out who is going to be contesting this gold medal match. Here they come. What a finish we've got lined up. Bulgaria's first appearance here in this gold medal match, the last chance. We haven't seen a Bulgarian archer, but guess what? He's going up against a British archer. Let's go down to the stadium announcer to welcome the contenders out.
Representing Bulgaria, and on target number 2, representing Great Britain, Monty Orton. And your line judge for this match, Asahan Unsal.
Well, Richard, we haven't seen a Bulgarian, but Ivan Banshev is out there, but he's going up against, what a finish for Great Britain on home soil, Monty Orton, the British squad, going for gold.
Yes, interesting. So Banshev, he actually done very well to reach the final. He battled through from a lower ranking position. He's been on the circuit, junior, so under 21, under 18, and senior level for a few years now. He's very experienced. I don't think there's been many medal matches, so this will be really interesting for him. Monty, I was coaching Monty from the autumn right through into the springtime. Very much a great developing archer, has been winning most of the senior competition in this country this year, so really growing as an archer.
Well, getting into full draw, really struggling, in fact, to get into full draw.
That was very shaky, wasn't it?
Orton starts the match off with a 4, looking really nervy.
Yeah, I think Monty shot a couple of weak arrows in the team, but then came back and shot strong.
Oh, you can see the tension. I mean,
Yes.
it's a better shot there, but do we expect this much movement? Or
No, this is we don't want to be nervous, but we don't. Well, everybody's nervous, but we don't want to be showing it physically. The nerves shouldn't be affecting the tension in the muscles and on the technique.
Just a little bit more settled
That was
on
better.
that one, didn't
That
he?
was more his normal shot. Sometimes you need a couple of looseners to get the nerves out of the system.
7 for a 25, and that is enough in this first set for Banshev of Bulgaria to take a 2-0 lead, but really shaky from Monty Orton here at the beginning. He said a couple of looseners to sort of blow away the cobwebs, but he did look really tight.
Yeah, he looked really nervous. Yes, we don't want to see that. He needs to do some good breathing, do some positive affirmations, talk himself into it.
That last arrow?
That was better. That should let him settle down a bit. It's just that belief that yes, I can do a good arrow. Because whether any of the, we shot a 4 or 5 yesterday in the team, which those things can play in your mind.
Yeah.
So he's got a 10. So he needs to grow from that.
And it was, of the 6 arrows, it was the closest one to the spider, to the middle of the target. You got to say that Banshev looked pretty solid through the first 2 arrows, particularly the second one, which went into the 10. But then showed a little bit of nervousness himself. When that opportunity here, I can get the set points here, suddenly the tension came.
Well, there's outcome at stake. It's the championship. Every arrow you shoot, this is, I want to win. I'm going to win, and you can talk yourself into it or talk yourself out of it.
That's the key thing, isn't it? It's so easy when you have a bad shot to lean on those negative thoughts. Orton, though, finishing with a positive arrow, a positive process that he went through as well. The delivery was much cleaner. Goes into the second set and shoots first because he's trailing.
Yes.
But can put some pressure on, right?
Exactly. I mean, Monty's shot is usually smooth and easy and regular, and his shots don't usually vary. He's not somebody who's rescuing shots. He usually shoots pretty smooth and standard, and he's generally a calm guy. But this is a final, and you're on your own. That puts extra pressure on him.
Right, he's going to start this second set, this gold medal match, the last of the action on the range here at the Orangery at Lilleshall National Sports Centre. Still a little bit of tension, but...
Just to move his sight down a little bit. Again, he's not centred, he's high left. Banchev looks a lot stronger physically.
9.
Starting to settle down.
Crowd starting to pick up the volume at the same time, but that's a lovely shot into the 10. Well, I say a lovely shot, it's a lovely result.
Yes.
Into the 10.
9.
So a 26 set. Got 22 in the first. What's going to come from Ivan Banchev? Into the 9 for a 27. So just a 1 point difference this time, but with Banchev of Bulgaria, and just like that, after 6 arrows, 4-0 up.
It's in a couple of minutes and you're in trouble, aren't you? So this is third set syndrome. Let's see what Monty can come back with in the next set.
Well, this is it. You talked about it and you've convinced me. 2 things. You've got to follow through, and the third set's all important in Recurve Archery.
Yes.
What are you going to be saying? Obviously, the coach here is talking Orton through this.
It's got to be some pretty strict things about getting back under control. If he's shaking and not doing his normal shot, then you've got to get back into control. What is your process? Just remind us of the key parts of your process. Set the shot up, put the power on, finish it good, pick your spot.
Is there an element at 4-0 down where you can say, do you know what? Nothing to lose now. So
well, no, right, yeah, thinking changes. Banchev will be thinking, great, I'm 4-0 up, one more set, I've got this. And the other guy's thinking, oh well, I've lost this, just get back onto the process, just shoot them, get them around the middle. So immediately from the first set when they were both trying to do it and maybe a bit cautious, now totally different mind games, and it does affect people.
Well, the all-important third set is about to get underway. We've seen Orton very nervy in the first set, lost that one, looked a little better, 8-9-9 in the second, but still lost out on the set points. Here, Ivan Banchev 4-0 up, so it'll be Monty Orton of Great Britain to shoot first in the third set. It is a must win.
Crucial arrow.
9.
He's still not quite centered. He's a good shot, but he's just not quite centered. Okay. Every arrow Banchev has been left.
Every first arrow has been in the 8
They've
as
all
well.
been left of centre.
Quicker shot there from Orton, dropped into the 8.
He's been low mostly. It's really hard to get centred under pressure.
8.
Well, both of those second arrows going to be measured. Oh dear. Now, there is a big opportunity here.
That went much too quickly. It's like he hadn't even had time to aim.
At 9 for the European title, the last one available here in Lilleshall, holding on for a long time here, Banchev. And he's pushed it out into the 7. So it looks currently as a 23-23, but we've got a couple of arrows for a measure here.
Yes. Wow. It's becoming a nervy match, isn't it?
There's going to be a bit of fingers crossed, I think, on the Orton side of the camp. You were talking about and gifts from the judges.
Yeah, a bit of pressure on the judges. We don't want to see both archers nervous like this. This is good learning for the future. You've got to keep control of your emotions. That takes. It's not natural for some people. I've got to work on it.
We're looking here at this target for the low arrow.
That's kicked up. That could be in, but it's just hard to see from this angle.
Yeah, when the shaft of the arrow is
No,
covering it, it's gone down. I think that was Banchev's, wasn't it? No,
that was
Monty.
Monty.
That was Monty. So that's remained a 23. So this is the important one here.
I think this one is out, but
it's that top right
but
arrow
be
that we're
23
looking at.
anyway. Yeah.
So Orton remaining with the 23, and looks like the agents, the guys recovering the arrows, are satisfied, and a confirmation here that they both finish on a 23. So a 4-point lead remains for Banchev, but crucially he's on 5 out of the target of 6 points required for the European title. Now that means that Orton will shoot first in the 4th set, but it now means that all Banchev has to do is match what Orton shoots to get the European title.
So again, this changes the mental game, doesn't it? When they just have to do something, that's different to like, I've got to hit 10s now. I have to be good. I can't.
Well, and that's exactly
what I can't mess up now. I've messed up enough. Come on, I've got to get in that middle.
A chance here, though.
It's all or nothing, isn't it? When
Absolutely.
you're 5-1 down.
Must win both points here. Orton will get the 4th set underway. Another quick one.
The shots are going a little bit quicker than normal, just not quite under control. That was a loose follow through, wasn't it? Not a great release at all on that one. He's not completing his process.
Trying to keep
that was a better shot from Monty.
Yeah, trying to keep that discipline up throughout, isn't it? And
yes.
We're seeing Banchev just sort of drop in that consistency as this match has gone on. Does mean there's an opportunity here for Orton.
That was a better shot, more controlled. A lot of that rhythm and timing. If the shot goes too quick or too slow, you don't respond to clicker well enough.
That is a confidence boosting 27 and a confidence boosting 10.
So it's 5-3.
And the points will go to Orton. Banchev finishing solidly though, that's probably very important for him as well. Finishes with another 10, but the points in the 4th go to the British archer. He has clung on here and now is starting to fight his way back.
Yes, that's good mental resolve, isn't it? He looks so nervous at that very first shot, and he's slowly, each shot's got a little bit better. I think still issues with his timing. He's normally very regular with that. Let's see how he does on the next set.
What a competition it's been. How we're being treated to a really, really tight and exciting match here.
Well, as we take a look back over that set, a little bit of a curious look on the face of Ivan Banchev, but as you can hear, the crowd there looks like sort of the Spaniards. Is that the
Italians
at the front? They're cheering
Spanish
on.
and the Brit, yeah.
Getting behind the Bulgarian.
I know, there's a great camaraderie between the teams, very much so.
And because there's such a, this is not anti-British, there's a big British crowd here, who and the other teams are ganging up together to sort of match them. So it's got a festival-like atmosphere, I feel, this championship.
Oh, it's fantastic, it really is good. So they down to the last set.
Well, this is a crucial one. Orton needs to win both the points in this one, and even if he does that, he's then got to go to a shoot-off for the European title. What a way that would be to end these championships. He's 5-3 down. The British archer still in contention for the gold medal. Shoots first in the 5th set.
8.
So a little bit quick. So, yeah, definitely a big pressure on both of them here. I'd love to see the heart rates at this point.
I think that's going to be a must, isn't it, next season?
They have done it in like Olympics and games and so on, and it adds to the excitement.
Well, look, here we could potentially both be on 17, so it could come down to this final
Monty needs a good arrow here.
It's fast, it's into the 9, so a 26 confirmed, but
I think it could be 9 to win.
It could be, but the 10 provisionally is what's required for the European title, and he's up into the 8 now. This means that even if the measure goes in Banchev's favour, he'll go up to 25, and it's not enough. And boy, oh boy, we have got a brilliant finale here. Monty Orton has fought his way back into this match from 4-0 down, doing it the hardest possible way.
Fantastic. He's clawed his way in, not shooting at his best. That's right. So,
and we get a shoot off now. The targets will be cleaned. I'm not going to bother asking you about it because we both know targets are cleaned. 1 arrow each. Score first, and then measure for the closest if they're both at the same score. I can't this though.
Ultimate head-to-head, isn't it? Winner or loser on 1 arrow.
What a wish the championships. But
it is great.
Seriously, Richard, I want to ask you. I can't call this one. They're so nervous, the pair of them.
Yes, you really. We could toss a coin, couldn't we? I think when you claw back from 5-1, the tides turn for Monty. I think
momentum is with him for sure.
He was down, he'd lost, he's fought back. I've got a chance to win now, and Ivan probably defensive the last couple of sets, thought he was over the line, didn't make it. Now he has to attack the middle.
Yeah,
he has to attack it.
And his physicality is just that little bit stronger. Perhaps
stronger.
On 1 arrow he has that advantage, but like you say, the momentum is with the Brit.
Yes,
he's on home soil.
Massive mental game.
This is huge, yeah.
This is the time to do the ultimate shot, isn't it?
It's the time to do the ultimate shot. The quote of commentary here from the European.
He shot the same shot thousands of times in training. It's the shot. He visualises it. You know where the middle is. The middle's always in the same place.
Oh, this is a brilliant way to end these championships, you've got to say. Absolutely thrilling for the neutral. Of course, the locals here are right behind Monty Orton, but we have got a 1 arrow shoot off, the tensest of all ways to conclude an archery match, and this is the final match of the 2022 edition of the European Youth Archery Championships. What a time for a shoot off. Ivan Banchev of Bulgaria. Bulgaria's first medal here at this edition of the championships. Will it be gold or will it be silver? That is up to both Ivan Banchev and Monty Orton.
Would love to be able to hear the thoughts at this point in time, what's going through the heads.
And now you need the heart rate monitor, don't you?
Yes.
You need that to see what's going on, not only in their heads but also in their hearts. This is it for the European title. Monty Orton of Great Britain to shoot first. It's into the 8. There is room here for Ivan Banchev. 1 arrow for the title. Oh, now that's not only an 8, but it's an 8 that's further away from the middle of the target, and that means coming from as far behind as you can possibly be, Monty Orton has just become the European champion here on home soil at the National Sports Centre and the home of Archery GB. He's not quite sure he can believe it.
He can't. He's such a quiet lad. He's always very humble, unassuming. He doesn't get excited about things. He'll just be shrugging his shoulders. Well, I got away with that. That was okay.
And he did, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's a perfect way of summing it up, and I'm sure he'll be fine with us saying that. It wasn't at his very best, very nervy, and still, you look at his face, did I really do that?
Okay. He'd probably be thinking, I did not shoot good at all in this. I made so many mistakes. I never got really centered, but I won. Thank you very much.
Superb, and what a way to do it in a shoot-off. Really superb drama for the neutral, but I'm sure Archery GB and the fans here watching are being delighted by the final medal going to Great Britain, and the last national anthem, of course.
I know,
will
it's
be
brilliant.
the host nation.
I mean, yeah, when I said about jokingly about the Turkish archers going to 600 arrows on training on Monday morning, Monty will be straight to the sports site, I think. Like,
Yeah,
I need to get better at this. I need to get rid of those nerves.
Confirmed though there on a shoot-off as the Recurve under-21 men's gold medalist here, taking the European title with it, the last of the action on the range. We will of course have the medal ceremonies coming up very shortly, but what a conclusion to the action here at the Orangery in Lilleshall.
Yeah, they weren't all bad shots from Monty. He shot some good ones as well, but just elements of his timing. I think with the pressure of the occasion, and probably the high heart rates, they're like going a little bit too quickly, so they're not quite under control.
The first 2 arrows of the first set, it almost looked like he hadn't got to full draw before.
No,
he was
exactly.
go as
yes.
well.
No. Yeah. It just wasn't under control. Ivan always looked strong, actually steady at full draw, but just not that. He doesn't have that kind of easy, relaxed follow through and tight.
And it looked like the consistency just dipped off
and
as well.
Look at all the holes. They're all like middle to left. You never quite got centred.
Never pulled that across. Yeah.
So he actually probably scored. He groups a lot better than he scored. So you'll see a lost opportunity there.
And then we had a shoot off, and that 8 left a big gap for Ivan Banshev, but he pushed it even further, both going low right. But in the end, the result is Monty Orton of Great Britain is the European champion. Fabulous stuff. Not winning at his very best, but winning nonetheless.
So we'll have the
Yeah, fantastic. Well done, Monty.
Coming up very shortly, we'll have the medal ceremonies for the under-21s. Richard, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure hearing your expert opinion, and I hope one day we get you back in the commentary box.
Well, yes, I hope so. Although, if I can improve my Israeli team, I hope you actually be on the screen all the time rather than me being on this side.
It will be a joy to call you and your Israeli team, but thank you very much for your time here. It's been greatly appreciated, and I see the feedback on social media is get him back. He's great.
Okay, great. Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve under-21 women.
Time now for the victory ceremony for the Recurve under-21 women.
Presented by the chair of the World Archery Youth Development Committee and the event technical delegate,
Irina Rosa there, the technical delegate for this event, and a very important person in terms of youth archery in Europe.
Society and the member of the World Archery Judge Committee, Graham Potts.
And there's Graham Potts, one of the premier officials on the circuit, head adjudicator at Tokyo 2020 at the Olympic Games. The bronze medal in this individual tournament went to a very strong young archer with a promising future, France's Caroline Lopez.
The silver medal, representing Spain, Infante.
Well, it was a tough matchup. There were a few nerves, couldn't quite play into the middle of the target, but Spain's Leira Fernandez Infante collects the silver medal here.
The gold medal, representing Turkey.
Well, it's been a fabulous performance throughout the week from Ezi Bazaran, and she's reached a perfect climax, taking the European title in the Recurve under-21 women's division. European champion from Turkey, Ezi Bazaran. Graham Potts handing out the tournament mascot as the prize. That's Fletch there. And now, yet again, it's time to celebrate with the Tequila national anthem.
Please stand, if you're able, for the national anthem of Turkey. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause to our athletes.
Well, there we have it, the medalist in the Recurve Under-21 Women's Individual Tournament. Ezzy Bazaran with the title and the gold medal. Leira Fernandez Infante of Spain losing out to the athlete from Turkey in the gold medal match. And Caroline Lopez of France collecting bronze. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from all three of those archers. Coming up very shortly, we'll have the final medal ceremony here in Lilleshall for the Recurve Under-21 men's individual medalists. The last of the action here from the UK.
Ladies and gentlemen, the victory ceremony for the Recurve Under-21 men.
Time now for the victory ceremony for the Recurve Under-21 men at the European Youth Archery Championships of 2022 here in Lilleshall, Great Britain. What a way for the host nation to finish this tournament as well.
The medals will be presented by the President of World Archery Europe, Mario Scott-Seller. The gifts will be presented by the trustee of the Fletchers, Andrew McMillan. The bronze medal, representing Germany, Matthias Kramer.
Well, the bronze medal from the strong, physically strong German, Matthias Kramer. Perhaps the underdog in the bronze medal match up against Matteo Balsamo of Italy, but he came through in 4 sets. A great bronze medal for him. What a learning experience here at the Orangery Archery Range here in Lilleshall. Well, Ivan Banchev got off to a flyer in the gold medal match. He didn't look completely comfortable, but very strong and managing to contain his nerves a little bit better than his opponent in the final. But consistency let him down towards the end, and that resulted in a silver medal winning performance.
The gold medal, representing Great Britain, Monty Orton.
Well, what a show of gritty determination. 4-0 down, fought his way back into it, battling nerves throughout, forced to shoot off after 5-5 and regulation sets, and an 8 on a measure was enough for Monty Orton of Great Britain to finish things off on home soil with a British gold medal. He is the European champion, and he'll get to celebrate with his national anthem.
Of Great Britain. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a little round of applause to
Oh, what a way to finish things off here. Matthias Kramer of Germany on the right with the bronze medal. Ivan Banchev from Bulgaria making his country's only appearance on the medal range here with the silver, but the final European title going to a host nation athlete in Monty Orton. What a way to finish these championships, and there's a lot of the British team looking over at the medal ceremony.
A few more to go, we'll be into the European Youth Cup section of the medal ceremonies in a minute or two.
What a brilliant conclusion to this competition here on individual day. They started with the Recurve under 18 women's bronze medal match won by Iria de la Fuente Torrecilla. A superb win for her before an all-French final won by Amélie Kudo. She just held her nerve better than her teammate Delastan. Baptiste made it a bronze for France in the Recurve under 18 men's individual, a competition won in an all-Turkey final, with Berke Akogin of Turkey taking that title. And then we moved on to the under-21s, where Caroline Lopez picked up the bronze, and it was S.A. Bazaran with the gold. And final action was the men's under-21. Matis Kramer of Germany taking bronze, Ivan Banchev of Bulgaria with the silver, and the host nations, Monty Orton, Great Britain, collecting the gold medal. A superb competition. Thanks to all of you for joining us right the way through to the end.